Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I'm at another park today. It is absolutely beautiful out. So I always take advantage of the weather to come out and do a video outside and get out of the cabin and show you yet another absolutely beautiful place. This park does not have any steep cliffs or drop-offs, so it's a lot safer for Sheppy. I know someone voiced a concern about him being near the cliffs, but we've been out here for going on 4 years now, and I know Sheppy. He's a very intelligent dog and knows how to take care of himself, so I appreciate your concern. But before I flip this around, I'm going to talk about how I learned to write my books. Not so much the story itself, but what programs I learned. How did I start? How did I write a book without even knowing what I was doing? How did I publish it? And all of that. How did I do it on my own? How did I do it without an editor? And I honestly think that we all have stories worthy to share, especially seniors. And even if you're younger, experiences that you've encountered and that you've learned from, it's valuable stuff to share with other people. And if you are thinking about writing a book or have doubts about your own abilities, maybe this video will encourage you, because I hope you, if you're thinking about writing a book, that means you have a story. And I'm sure it's a great story to tell. So I'm going to flip this around and show you where we are. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to do this. And it is an absolutely stunning day. Now for Maine, this doesn't always happen. So I always try to get out when it's like this. In the next few days, it'll start raining again. And as you can see, we had another snowstorm. So for April, you never know. It might be warm like the other day, or we might get a snowstorm. So for those of you who aren't familiar with my book, I See the Elephant, I knew from a very young age that I loved to write. But I won't go into details why I never pursued it, because I've already talked about that. But I had this story just burning inside me, and I just wanted to tell the world. And honestly, that's how I felt. I didn't know if it would be valuable to anybody, but what I've learned since then is if you feel passionate about something, then someone else will too. So go with that. And if you really have something that you want to share but you don't know how, this is how I did. Now, it was not easy. I am a very driven, passionate person, and I do not like asking for help. That's just how I am. So you may be completely different. You might want to hook up with a writing coach or a memoir editor, and that would be great if that's your personality. It's not mine. So, and it's high tide. Isn't it beautiful? And it's not all that windy, so. Now, when I come out here, just to interrupt myself a minute, in a few months, this is all wildflowers, and I'll come back out, and it will just completely transform this place. It's just amazing. So, I started writing this book, and I joined an online writing forum for critique, and there are a gazillion out there. I did learn a few things. However, a word of caution: the people that you will meet on these writing forums, most of them are just as clueless as you are. And what I found was a lot of false praise. It's more of a social setting than a writing setting, if that makes sense. And what I found was whenever I gave honest feedback that the member didn't care for, I realized all they wanted to do was receive praise. And I wanted to write, I wanted to learn, and I wanted people to critique me and tell me what was wrong. So I stayed there for about 2 years. I did learn quite a few things. I did post quite a few chapters of my book. But most of what I learned on my own. Now, there were 2 books that I found that I thought were just utterly amazing. Now, they're How to Write a Memoir. But even if you're just writing a story or a fictional tale, I think you could still use it because it talks about structure and it talks about focus. And those were the 2 things that I did not have. Now, the first one is very easy to read, very simple, very basic, which is what I'm attracted to. It's simple, basic concepts. Was a book written by Lisa Dale Norton called Shimmering Images. Now, what that book did for me was incredible because she talks about, if you don't know where to start, think of all those times in your life that really stand out, that you still remember, that you still feel passionate about, that you still feel emotional about. And the reason why you still feel emotional about those is because they have meaning, they affected you. So those are the moments you want to write about. Now, I wasn't sure where my book was going to take me, but I knew it had meaning and I was going to find it. And the act of writing actually revealed that meaning to me the more I wrote. And I think it's almost a subconscious thing because there were times when, honestly, I wrote until I realized it was dark and I hadn't even turned the lights on. I mean, I wrote for hours, not even making dinner. Or I hate to say, sometimes I forgot to feed my dogs. They were just staring at me. And her book taught me, and you can even use paper. You don't even need a computer. Jot down notes, those moments, those days, those nights, those situations where you really felt your life either changed or was affected, or where you learned something, or whether you're still confused about it. And write them all down in no particular order. And then what I did was, and this is just me, but I write as if I'm living it all over again. Because I want the writer to feel what it was like for me. What did I feel? How did the ocean smell? How did it feel when my brother pushed me into the ocean? Show the reader your emotions, because it's the emotions that will captivate your reader. And it was not easy. It took me 5 years, and I had all my scenes, I had all my chapters, and I read another book, and this was complementary to Shimmering Images. And it was written by a woman by the name of Marion Roach Smith, I believe. She's a memoir coach and an editor. I did not buy any of her courses, but I did read her very small book. And now that I'm standing out here, for the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Memoir something. Gosh, now I can't think of what it is. It has a green cover, Marion Roach, and it talks about how to write a memoir. And I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. Gosh, the title just went right out of my brain. I'm so sorry. But look up Marion Roach and you'll find it. Now, what she taught me was that your story isn't just your story. Your story is the catalyst for a larger universal meaning. Take, for instance, let's just say you got married to somebody and it started out really great and then things just started falling apart. And you got divorced and you learned how to pick yourself up again. Well, that book will attract readers who want to know how you did it. So the story is the catalyst for how to recover from bad situations. Now, does that make sense? And I realized that my book, I See the Elephant, was about that very similar concept. How to find your inner strength, how to forgive, how to have compassion towards others who have caused you either great distress or great harm, but most importantly, how to view yourself. And I think that was the biggest takeaway for me when I ended up finishing that last chapter, because by the time I was done with my book, I did not have an ending. And the ending happened as I wrote it. And it was really interesting because I thought I would never see my mother again until the last chapter happened. And that was the perfect ending to my book. And I had not planned it, it just happened. So sometimes life has a way of evolving just in the right moments. And I think we all can capture whatever is meaningful to us because it will be meaningful to others. Now, when I wanted to type all this, and I'm trying to keep this video short, I'm sorry. There is an online free writing app called Reedsy.com, or the Reedsy editor, REEDSY editor. It is a free writing tool, which is amazing that it's free. You can write your entire book in this program. You have to be online to do it. You can't download this software. You can edit to your heart's content. You can change your chapters. You can print it to your computer as a PDF and print it out and look at it and mark it up and fix it again. Now this is absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you this amazingly fast tide here. And I used the Reedsy editor for I See the Elephant, and it was a very long, involved book, and it was a mess in the beginning, but little by little I chipped at it. And when I was done, you can create a zip file. It will tell you how. It's very easy. And you can download it and send it to KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, which is what I did. Now the cool thing about KDP is you need to preview your book before you hit publish. And that is so cool because you can see how it looks. You can see if the chapters are centered correctly. You can see if you like the formatting. And if you don't, you can redo it as many times as you want. And that's for free also. Now, isn't this amazing? Oh, look at this duck flying by here. I don't know if he's having fun or... I've seen them do that before. I think it's pretty funny, actually. You can spend a ton of money writing a book. Editors are not cheap. Proofreaders are not cheap. And I might have had some typos here and there, but I used Pro Writing Aid. And when I bought it and started using it, I must have had 2,500 punctuation errors in my manuscript. And it was easy. I just went through and fixed them all. Should I have had a real person check it? Here's why I did not. I actually hired someone. It cost me $2,000. And what they did was change things that I did not want changed. And I don't think they got the main thrust of my story. I don't think they understood the passionate voice that I was using. And that's fine. I mean, they're professionals. You can't judge them for that. But what I realized was you don't know, other than a free sample, what an editor is going to do for all that money until it's too late. You've already paid them. And I wasn't sure if my book was going to sell anyway. So that's why I did it on my own. And lo and behold, my book sold. People love it. And it has meaning for other people. And so I'm using these same tools Actually, I used them for the horseshoe. I used the Readsy editor. I used Pro Writing Aid to fix all the errors. And I sent the file to Kindle Direct Publishing. Set very low prices because I was more interested in readers' feedback than I am for making money, believe it or not. And $3.99 for I See the Elephant for the Kindle book is sufficient, I believe. And the print version, Amazon forces you to take the minimal charge for printing costs. So I was really stuck on I believe it's $7 something. I would lower it if I could, but Amazon requires you to keep that minimum charge for the printing costs. Covers, you can do all kinds of covers. I did my own for the horseshoe. All I did was I put the horseshoe out on my porch and I took a picture of it. Why did I do that? Because I wanted the original horseshoe on the cover. I wanted it simple, I wanted it basic, and I wanted it to speak for itself. And to just be the horseshoe on the cover with no distractions. And so there you have it. Please feel free to ask me questions if you're thinking about writing any kind of book. Readsy editor, it's amazing. And I honestly don't understand why something so cool can be free. It's such a beautiful day. I'm going to continue walking and show you more of the trail. And I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about my videos about being an estranged parent. And I'm going to react to some of the comments. And first, I just want to mention that I appreciate every single one of them. And your comments are teaching me a lot about people's perceptions, and it's giving me even a greater perspective in terms of other people and my own situations. So I really thank you for that, and I'm going to continue walking and create that video too. So please feel free to ask me if you want to be a writer, go for it. If you don't think you have an interesting story, write it and publish it, and I assure you someone will find it interesting. And so check out those books, and thank you so much, everyone. Take care.